Hi gang, Aaron Fisher here. And for the last 20 years it has been my job to help magicians all over the world of all experience and skill levels get the skill and the confidence it takes to really just love the way you do magic. And one of the most important aspects in creating that skill and confidence is making sure that you have not only the best material, the best tricks, the best, easiest, most effective tricks that you can possibly do, surefire tricks that can get a great reaction from any audience anytime, but just as important, that you know all of the unspoken details, the things that you never see or hear on YouTube that are required to make sure that you get those reactions that you seek when you actually take this stuff out to perform magic with an ordinary deck of cards for your friends and family and who knows, even for professional audiences all along down the line. So today what I want to share with you first is a very, very simple idea that you can use to create real miracles. And it looks like this. Here's the basic idea. I'm going to shuffle through the cards. Anytime you want, you're just going to say stop. It's a very clear procedure. I'm just going to mix the cards like this. And whenever you want, you're just going to say stop and you're going to look at the card that you said stop at. Okay, so if that makes sense, we'll just assume that someone's here watching and you say stop anytime. Okay, I'll close my eyes and you say stop and you look at the card. Okay, make sure that you know what that card is. Focus on it. Okay, concentrate on the card. We'll take it out and we'll place it right here, pardon me, so everybody can see a 6. Perfect. Now, I have in this card case 3 cards that I placed earlier. These are my predictions. My hope was that by placing 3 predictions in the card case that at least one of them was right, I'd have a success. So for example, let's see how I did. Well, the first card tells me that you have a number card. The second card tells me that you have a red card. And the third card actually tells me you have a 6, which means, frankly, I did pretty good, because that there is what they call a matched set. Now that is a very simple trick with a little window dressing designed to make sure that you get full effect out of what I'm about to show you. Now the basic idea at the core of this is called the Hindu Shuffle Force. And it's a wonderful move for us to start out with, because if you've been doing magic even 5 or 6 minutes, it's likely that you've seen 1,000 people on YouTube demonstrate how to do it in such a way where you might get away with doing it once, or you might have people go, okay, that's very nice, but so many of the details that make it such a beautiful, powerful, strong force are missing from those instructions that we so often get on the internet. So what I want to do today is show you exactly how the move really works, step by step, so that you can really see the difference that comes when you have the actual perfect method, all the details that they never show you, and you see how they come together to create a strong magical effect, because as we'll discuss later, that's every bit as important as the sleight of hand or the handling in this case, because there is no sleight of hand that you use for the trick. So in this case, just take any 4 of a kind out of the deck, and you take 3 cards and you place them in the card case or in your wallet or a little envelope or a little something else. Honestly, you don't even really necessarily need to do this. I just like it because it adds a little theatricality to the trick, because at the end of the day, what we're learning here is a very simple card force, right? The idea is the audience believes that the cards are completely not under control, everything's totally copacetic and normal, and that they could pick any card that they want. But in reality, you are psychologically as well as physically forcing them to take the card that you want them to take. So traditionally how it's done is this, and this is probably how you've seen the trick or the Hindu Shuffle Force done on YouTube over and over and over again for years, and it's really terrible. It makes magicians like me, who've been doing this a very long time and perform professionally all over the world, makes me it's sick, because in some ways people think they know the secret, but of course they're missing all of the beautiful, elegant details that make it truly powerful when you do it for an audience. And this is how you normally see it performed. I'm just going to shuffle through the cards and you say stop anywhere. Great. Look at the card. Now the truth of the matter is, all they're doing is they're starting with the Hindu Shuffle. So let me show you how this works. Start with your force card on the bottom of the deck, just like that. Place the deck on top. okay? And now hold the deck in dealing position. I'm always going to go into a little bit more detail than most folks on this stuff because it's very important to me that even if you're watching a free tutorial or interacting with one of these methods online where it's not a paid service, it's very important for me that you get every detail you need to succeed, because I have learned over and over again, working with countless students, that when you get the precise details that you need, that's what builds the confidence that makes you able to perform real magic in front of real people. So dealing position means the thumb is on the left side of the pack, the first finger is just above the front, and just these wee fingertips are sticking up over the side. It's like a cradle. You don't want to place any excess energy or excess pressure on the cards. And so what's really important about this is that the thumb pad right here and the second finger are contacting the sides, the entire side of the deck, so that if I were to take my pinky and place it underneath the cards, I could very easily, with the thumb and the second finger, raise the pack up a little bit. And that's what you want to be able to do to get into the Hindu shuffle. And then with your right hand, you're going to contact the back edge at the thumb right there with the thumb pad, and the second finger pad, that outer phalange right there. Now, a lot of these moves are very, very easy, but it doesn't mean that finger positions don't count. Finger positions most certainly do count, so keep that in mind. And my third finger is butting up against from the back. So the Hindu shuffle in its most simplest form is this. You use your thumb and your second finger to apply pressure to the cards near the top of the pack and pull them off the deck. As they get free of the deck, you let them fall back into dealing position. Now notice you don't let them fall all the way into the palm. You let them fall back into dealing position, which means they don't really fall. The thumb lowers and they come back. You bring these cards back over top. Again, the right edge is sort of bookwise, so it's contacting the right edge of the lower packet. The thumb takes off another packet and you go again. And so what's really happening in the Hindu shuffle and the Hindu shuffle force is you're doing this with small packets so the audience feels that they could really go through the entire deck, and anytime they want they can say stop, and you're just going to show them the lower card of the upper packet. Now if you're starting to pay attention to how this really works, you'll see that there's a big discrepancy there, right? Because what's happening is no matter where you say stop, I'm just showing you the bottom card. And when I see a person just do the Hindu shuffle this way, hey, say stop anytime, look at the card, oop, I'll leave those there. When you see a person do the Hindu shuffle and they just say stop anytime and show you the card, I'm always left feeling a little bit like the magician thinks I'm stupid. And I always have felt that way. I've always felt that when magicians take the audience for granted, the audience feels a little bit like you think they're stupid, or at the very minimum, they don't feel a lot of magic in what you've performed. And that's really the important thing, right? Always remember, evading capture is nice, but it's much more important for the audience not just to not know how you did it, but to really care, to think it was an amazing thing that they just saw. Right? So now what I want to show you is how that simple move, which in and of itself has a discrepancy, right? There's big discrepancy in it, can be covered by the way we set it up. And this is always going to matter, especially when we're dealing with simple, easy card tricks like the one I'm trying to teach you here. There is no difficult sleight of hand involved in the trick. But what you do have to do is set up the reality, the conditions of the game, so that when you do something discrepant, it fits inside and continues to, or not even continues, but really fools people and seals the illusion. So for this, we go to Vernon, a fellow called Vernon, who many of us call the professor, who really perfected, in many ways, the art of close-up magic sleight of hand in the last century. And there was something known as the Vernon touch, and that was the way Vernon was able to synthesize technique and misdirection and natural handling and the overall structure of a trick to create optimum results, and in many cases do it without a lot of hard moves, which is exactly what happens here. So let's take another look at how I did this from the very beginning, because I actually did a little bit more than you might have imagined when we first set it up. I shuffled through and I said, you're going to say stop anytime and you're going to look at a card. So let's be clear, right? I'm going to go slowly, and whenever you want, you're going to say stop and you're going to look at a card, okay? I'm going to close my eyes so that you can't see it happen. So say stop anytime you want, and of course, as we go through this time, they say stop, and now they see my force card. right there on the bottom of the deck. Just setting that up, just taking the time to set up that sequence is what makes the force so powerful. And so you see, even embedded in this open action, which depends on a discrepancy to fool people, there is still a certain core sleight of hand value involved. And so here's how you do it. Normally that Hindu shuffle works as we said. You pull from the top, and then whenever they say stop, you show a card. And that makes perfect sense. But when we're setting it up, we don't do it that way. We actually pull from the center of the pack. I use my thumb and my second finger, and I just pull some cards out of the center. I don't care how far up or down the center, exactly how. I like a big packet, but I want to make sure that I leave the cards on the bottom. I'll leave the cards on the very bottom. Now you'll notice the cards are facing you, and I'm even talking to you. Hey, Mary, I'm going to ask you for some help as I do that, because while it's not a secret, it's not something that I really want people to focus on either. I don't want it to be the focal point of the situation. I don't want to say, Mary, I'm going to shuffle through and I just want you to say stop. I don't want it to come up at all. So what I do is I say, hey, Mary. And as Mary says yes, that's when I do my first cut. I say, I'm going to shuffle through like this. Don't worry just yet, but whenever you say stop, I'm going to close my eyes and you're going to look at a card. So just to make the procedure very clear, and of course I know the procedure is clear, but I want to make it clear again to show Mary again a different card, because that's what makes it so deceptive. We're going to go through the deck, and of course I cut from the center again. You're going to say stop, I'm going to close my eyes, and you're going to look at a card. Okay? Is everybody ready? Now as everyone answers that they're ready, I begin the move proper. Is everybody ready? Perfect. Now that time I came off the top, right? That time I have the bottom card in my hand. Is everybody ready? Perfect. I'll close my eyes. And whenever you want, just say stop. Look at the card. Make sure you know what it is. Very important. Now I take this card off, just like so. And I can say, now look, I don't even know what the card is. And this is a slightly different setup than we did the last time, a slightly different way of getting into it. This time I say, look, I don't know what your card is. I didn't peek. But I gave myself 3 predictions, and hopefully one of them will each tell me a little something about your card. One of them will tell me your card, was black. One will tell me that your card was a spot card. One will tell me that your card was a 6. Was in fact your card a black 6? And that's pretty good. And my odds were even better than that, because I actually was able to find all 4 6s. So in that way, you can turn a very, very simple thing, just the old Hindu shuffle force, but you can do it in such a way that instead of just exposing a simple move, you're actually creating a miracle. And when you do it for your friends this way, I swear to you, you're just going to love the magic that you do. You're going to love the way you do magic. So my name's Aaron Fisher. If you have any questions or comments about the trick you've just seen, please email me at aaron@aaronfishermagic.com. And if you want to find out how students all around the world are discovering that online lessons with a qualified, caring, compassionate teacher who just wants to see you succeed is the fastest, most fun way to move forward. So come to Aaron Fisher Magic and get in touch. Fill out a student profile. We'll get together for the new student special. We'll figure out what your goals are. If you already know what your goals are, you'll tell me. If not, I will help you figure out exactly what easily accomplishable, measurable, small goals will lead you to your ultimate goal. And you'll discover, like I said, that the process can be more fun, more effective, and more exciting than you ever thought possible. My name's Aaron Fisher. Thank you so much for watching.